Hey, welcome to our Sunday preview for this Sunday. It's the Feast of Christ the King, the last Sunday of the liturgical year. So next week we start with Advent and we start a whole new liturgical year. So we're bringing it to a close, right? We're closing out, and a lot of the readings at daily masses especially, and if you remember the last few Sundays, are kind of about the end times and the signs that are going to be coming, about the end of the world and the second coming of Jesus. And today it's a little bit different take. It's about Christ as our King, and it's the scene of the crucifixion in Luke 23. And it says, the rulers sneered at Jesus and said, "He saved others. Let him save himself if he is the chosen one, the Christ of God." Even the soldiers jeered at him. As they approached to offer him wine, they called out, "If you're the King of the Jews, save yourself." Above him, there was an inscription that read, "This is the King of the Jews." Now one of the criminals hanging there reviled Jesus, saying, "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us." The other, however, rebuking him, said in reply, "Have you no fear of God? For you are subject to the same condemnation. And indeed, we have been condemned justly. For the sentence we received corresponds to our crimes. But this man has done nothing criminal." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." He replied to him, "Amen, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." The Gospel of the Lord. St. Luke makes much of this idea of Christ as King, but his throne is the cross. And so all throughout this passage are mocking references to Christ as the King. If you're the King of the Jews, save yourself. Come down from the cross. But they keep calling him the King, and even the inscription that Pilate wrote said, "This is the King of the Jews," in Greek, in Hebrew, and in Latin. And then he has this encounter with the good thief who rebukes the one who's mocking him. And the good thief asks Jesus to remember him when he comes into his kingdom. He puts his faith in Jesus. He asks for mercy. He repents of his sin. And he puts himself in the hands of the good King. And Jesus promises him salvation. So I think the pattern for us is very similar. You know, we're all sinners. We're all in need of mercy. And we have a merciful King. But we have to turn from sin. And we have to ask for that mercy. And then Christ, the King, in judgment, will bring us into his kingdom. That's what we look forward to on this day of Christ the King.